Welcome to the Rock Newman Show.
It's the Rock Newman Show.
Gentleman born in Louisville, Kentucky, had the name Cassius Clay. This is the legend of Cassius Clay, the most beautiful fighter of the world today. He talks a great deal and brags indeed of a muscular punch that's incredibly speedy. The fistic world was dull and weary. With a champ like Liston, things had to be dreary. Then someone with color, someone with dash, brought fight fans a running with cash. The brass young boxer is something to see, and the heavyweight championship is his destiny. The kid fights great. He's got speed and endurance. If you sign to fight him, you better raise your insurance. Oh, rumble, young man, rumble. Talk to me, please, about Muhammad Ali.
Oh, God. Again, he's my friend. And people forget, or whatever it is we do with history, but when they took his championship, his belt from him, he had to earn a living. And what he decided to do, because he spoke, you know, and Richard Fulton was his agent at that point. And so Richard said to me, would you like to go on tour with Ali? And I said, oh, you kidding? And of course. So Ali, though, at that point didn't fly. So he would take the bus, and we would go to Columbus or Cleveland, you know, and I would meet him, right? His wife, both of his wives liked me because they always felt he was safe with me. Because, you know, he was a bit of a...
He was.
And so they were always like, you're looking out for him, aren't you, Nick? And I'm like, yeah, I'm looking out for him. But we toured together. I look at Ali every day because one of my favorite photos is in my bedroom. It sits like, it's stacked. There's a photo, and I was 27 or 28. So you know what, we both, I mean, we were beautiful. And that's true. And I look at it every day because he was showing me something. And it's just, it's a photo that actually someone sent to me. So I've only had it now for like 3 years. But it's so wonderful because I see Ali every day. He's such a great man. He's such a great man. And traveling with him was a lot of fun. So I was a little disappointed in one of the books, what's his name's book, because it was like he just wiped me out. That whole period didn't exist. You know, he ended up doing the Great White Hope in New York and stuff. But you have to, the poetry is what got him between. It was the poetry. And again, you know, we were talking about hip hop, and we're talking, but see, all of that, Ali was a big influence on all of that and on what you can do. And they just want to kind of take Ali out of it, and you can't. You have to come back to one, he's a stand-up guy. And he was, I mean, we were all, everybody, and to say in love is not, you know, but we were all in love with him. And of course, Toni Morrison, speaking of Toni, Toni was just like, oh my God, you know, she's the one that did that. And she was like, oh, have you seen him? Have you seen him? Because he's a beautiful man. And it was just, and of course, he's a great storyteller. So it was really fun. And, you know, we'd all talk about it. He's wonderful.
Whatever extent I've had any successes, it is in part breathing his spirit. Very, very much. I mean, I idolized and worshiped him and took his message into myself. And he had that kind of impact. When I looked at the movie where Will Smith was playing Ali, and I'll tell you what I think. I think that Will Smith did as wonderful of a job as any actor could have done trying to capture Ali. But no one could capture Ali. The energy and the spirit, and you've used the word a couple of different times, his absolute physical beauty. This man was a talking about objectifying, this man was a gorgeous man. And I'm aware of some just tales about, you know, I mean, just how women were trying to get
everybody
with Muhammad Ali.
Everybody.
And the interesting, it's
no, I mean, he attracted as many men as women. He could handle it, and however he wanted to. This is not, but I'm just saying, no, Ali was attractive to everybody. And that was a part of what he had to deal with, but he was perfectly capable. I didn't like the script. I didn't think that it showed the complexity. And I think that if you're going to show Malcolm X, who was an incredibly beautiful man, you talk about gorgeous.
Yeah.
You talk about just saliva. I mean, no, Big Red was beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you're going to show those two men, then let's see the complexity. Yeah. Because the complexity of you have two giants who are going to make such an impact on the world. This is not a 90-minute movie, a 2-hour movie. This is, why is it that we get The Godfather, and it's 4 hours, and then we get The Godfather Part 2, and that's another 4 hours, and we can't get that same epic film on what black men have done? Yeah. Because Malcolm and Ali were friends, and the friendship also had a lot to do with how the world looked. Yeah. There were differences that were not superficial. I thought it just made it so superficial that if you were seeing that, it just looked like two foolish men. Right. But then if you saw Malcolm X, and I'm not picking on Spike today either, but that was a superficial film because you had Elijah Muhammad was a great man, right. and no matter how you look at it, no matter what, I'm a Christian, doesn't matter whatever you are, Elijah was a great man, and what he did has not been replicated.
Right.
So we can't just say, and then all of a sudden, Malcolm woke up one morning, scratched his balls, and said, "I'm mad at the messenger." Yeah. It's just not the way that works. Right. And so, did you see what I'm saying? There's a complication that needs to be explored when great men clash, because any clash of titans is always going to create. I mean, we've got Roman and Greek mythology talking about the clash of titans. These men were titans, and we cannot reduce them to, oh, they fell out.
Right, absolutely.
So it upset me. Both of those films didn't suit me.
Why don't we see a film, an epic, of what black men have accomplished?
I think we will see that as we in the black community are, and I'm not being Pollyanna-ish about it, but we are coming into our own. America is no longer a white nation, which they know no matter how much they're bitching and moaning about it. And we are watching the rise of men and women of color, and hopefully they don't get crazy, so we have to, I really shouldn't have to say and women, but we have to make sure that we're being inclusive as we move along. Right. But I think that we will. I think that it's a great story, and we are now building a generation that is building the resources to begin to be able to do that on our own, that you don't need Hollywood. And, we're sitting here, we're streaming, and we're doing 800,000 other things, which is good, because we're now taking the media away from the hands of a few people to decide what we can see. Yeah. And I think that that's incredibly important.
And here on the Rock Newman Show, I could not be more pleased that the world today is seeing Nikki Giovanni sitting here at Busboys and Poets, kicking it with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Rock Newman Show. It's the Rock Newman Show. Rock Newman Show.